Genre, quand tu rentres dans une affaire et qu'il y a un
te leo, Argentina verde, verde, bicampeón. Vamos selección, hoy te vinimos a alentar.
Ahora de que sea esta histórica final.但我真认识有人，我真的。Vamos, selección. España, 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 España. ¡Alto! Es para evitar cola. Ya de la selección.
dedicated team fans. So we told them not to. It's going to be very strict. You can't drop anybody off over there either. Very strict. Do that song, I think it's like you have to go inside. Unless you get to the ball. Honestly, run around and try to go to the ball. But like, I feel like it's a further walk than to go through the New Jersey transit. That's what I thought about, but like, I don't have the time to actually commit to going that way.
estamos de gira entonces.
Sí, vamos a estar.
¿Qué esperamos para el partido de hoy? Argentina-España, España-Argentina.
Uy, todavía no caigo en cuenta, no caigo mucho en cuenta. Aquí la gente está muy nerviosa.
¿Estamos nerviosos, sí?
Estamos nerviosos,
Más o
pero con
menos.
esperanza, ¿no? Estamos tranquilos, nerviosos, pero por dentro tranquila.
Bien, pero siempre con la confianza.
Sí.
Vale, ponete acá si te haces una foto con el público como hacemos con todos los
¿Te
artistas.
damos la mano?
Buenos Aires,
¿Salimos
Juanfe.
en todas las fotos?
A ver. Bueno, no hay nadie que le saque acá. Chicos, tienen ahí un celular, dale. Viene el marciano que vino,
Lo digo todo, el marciano.
No, vino todo el partido de Argentina.
Ah, sí, todo el día.
Te estábamos esperando,
Nada, los pasos marcianísticos.
Dale, hacemos la foto. Ahí está, agachate un cachito, vale.
Levantemos los bracitos.
Ahí estamos, este es el público de la Argentina. De Buenos Aires, Juanfe, mirá qué foto que quisimos hacer. La queremos copiada en tu Instagram, con todo el público. @linda en vivo, así
Sí,
nos
voy a hacer
encuentran.
una más con tipo vamos,
Ahí estamos. Dale.
Esto no se repite.
Vamos, rápido. ¿Cómo está Argentina?
Dale.
¡Ese es el público! Nos encanta que podamos venir. Gracias, Valen, un placer. Nos vemos y a seguir creciendo. Los pasos de los artistas se hacen en cada escenario y qué mejor en el Buenos Aires Fan Fest. Gracias, lo tenemos ahí ponchado en cámara al marciano, al extraterrestre que vino todos los partidos. A David también y la mamá, mira, ahí está. Vino todos los partidos así vestida, no sé por qué género hablarle. Fuerte el aplauso para el marciano. Hace un rato pregunté por vos, digo, ¿dónde está? Me moría si no venía. Bueno, mientras tanto, vamos con información acá arriba en la pantalla. Por favor, esto pasó en todos los partidos de Argentina, volvemos a reiterarlo. Aquellos que tengan pequeñitos, estén atentos, sabemos que cuando juega la selección nos olvidamos de todo, pero por favor estemos al cuidado de los más pequeños, igual hay seguridad, hay artistas que nos cuidan, pero por favor estemos acá siempre viéndolo. Tenemos el lugar de objetos perdidos y el lugar de encuentro, que es el mismo, la carpa de Sarmiento y Libertador, justo en la esquina, allá, Sarmiento y Libertador. Por eso decir a tu amigo, a tu amiga, che, si nos llegamos a desencontrar, el punto de encuentro es ese, queremos que sea una fiesta como fueron todos los partidos de Argentina y hoy no va a ser la excepción. Mira ahí los chicos que están a full, muchos, veo camisetas de otros países, la ciudad más linda del mundo que es el mundial, nos encantan que vengan de otros países a visitarnos, a ver la experiencia en la República Argentina, en la ciudad autónoma de Buenos Aires. Ya vamos a estar con la previa, siempre lo hacemos un ratito antes, pero hoy quizás un poquito más porque hay muchos shows, no solo aquí en el escenario, sino también en el lugar del estadio. Hoy somos locales y nosotros acá en el Buenos Aires Fan Fest, muchos que por cábala vienen por tradición y nos encanta que estén presentes, que estén viviendo esta pasión como la estamos viviendo nosotros. Paró de llover y si llueve un poquito, no nos importa, tenemos acá en el corazón todo. Seguimos viendo, a ver si me mandan con los teléfonos celulares de dónde son, quiero ver las provincias que se acercan, que son parte. Muchos que con los teléfonos me dicen soy de tal. Bueno, recién Valen era de Santiago del Estero, por eso también con la visita ahora que estamos en el invierno, vamos con muchas provincias que están aquí presentes. Bien, bueno, hoy amanecimos todos con la ilusión de este partido de Argentina-España, España-Argentina, pero todos aquí me imagino que seguimos a nuestro capitán Lionel Messi. No sé si fue una despedida, no sé si fue un hasta luego, un hasta pronto, no lo sabemos, pero vamos a ver en pantalla la foto que publicó nuestro capitán argentino, el emblema de la selección, y dice lo siguiente. ¡Vamos! Bien, el aplauso para Messi. Lo más lindo de todos estos años nunca fueron solamente los títulos, sino todo el camino. Compartir el día a día con este grupo, competir juntos, levantarnos en los momentos difíciles y disfrutar cada paso. Gracias a cada uno de mis compañeros, cuerpo técnico y a todas las personas que trabajan todos los días para que esta selección siga siendo una familia. Pase lo que pase mañana, o sea, esto lo escribió ayer por hoy, este grupo ya escribió una historia que nunca vamos a olvidar, ya que nadie podrá borrar. ¡Vamos Argentina! ¡Vamos Lionel Messi! Empezamos todos a palpitar un poco en Argentina, 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 Argentina. Vamos a cantar, ¿qué pasa ahí? ¿Dónde está el público? Argentina, Argentina, Argentina. Y el medio no lo puedo saltar, dale. Con todo. Esto tiene que ser la fiesta argentina. estadios. Esto lo voy a hacer dentro de un ratito, pero ahora también, porque muchos que se van a ir sumando a último momento, lo hacemos previo al partido media hora antes, pero hoy lo hago un ratito, con más tiempo todavía. Ya tenemos la formación de Argentina, como ocurre en todos los estadios del mundo. Mientras vamos nombrando a los jugadores, queremos el aplauso, ¿eh? Empezamos, equipo confirmado para salir a jugar hoy con España. En el arco, Emiliano Martínez. Gonzalo Montiel. Cristian Romero. Lisandro Martínez. Taglia, libro de Taglia Pico. Rodrigo de Paul. Enzo Fernández. Alexis McAllister. Nicolás González. Julián Laraña Álvarez. Y como todos los partidos de titular nos ponemos la mano en el corazón, nuestro querido capitán Lionel Messi. Equipo confirmado para seguir jugando hoy en la final. Hay muchos cambios. Bien, ahora empezamos con eso, ¿eh? A ver, Messi. ¿No se escucha? Allá en el fondo, vamos, Messi. Messi, 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 Messi. El último partido que hicimos a la noche lo hicimos con los teléfonos celulares y se viralizó ese video. Gracias al público que nos acompaña siempre. Como estamos ya llegando al final de Buenos Aires Fan Fest, quiero que le demos un fuerte aplauso de corazón a todo el equipo de trabajo que viene trabajando desde hace ya prácticamente 3 meses, equipo técnico, productores, productoras, personal de limpieza, los chicos de seguridad, los camarógrafos, mucha gente que trabaja por y para ustedes para brindarles lo mejor y se merecen también el reconocimiento. La ciudad late mundial, late fútbol, vamos a seguir escuchando música, vamos a seguir disfrutando de Buenos Aires Fan Fest. Como ya paró de llover, quiero hacer otra cosa, como lo hicimos con los celulares. A ver, Manu, venga nuestra productora que está ahí pegada, que es Sombra, por favor. Vamos a hacer un lindo video. Miren, ¿qué sería acá? ¿Un pajarraco? ¿Cómo sería? ¿El qué? El espíritu mundialista. Mira, tenemos al espíritu mundialista. Que me diste el pie. Vamos a hacer algo que no hicimos, pero se me ocurrió recién. Viste, acá arriba del escenario se van ocurriendo cosas. Todos los que trajeron paraguas, levántenlo, ábranlo, vamos a levantarlo para arriba, a ver cómo queda esta postal también. Lo vamos mostrando en imagen. Dale, total, ahora no estamos tapando a nadie en la pantalla, no pasa nada. A levantar los paraguas. A ver cómo se eleva mucho. Y para otros que no, muy bien, ahí por el medio. Veo cómo para dale, a levantarlos, moverlos así, para un lado y para el otro. Dale. Muchos de Argentina, otros de otros colores, pero no importa, Mirá qué linda postal. Bien, me gustó el caballero ahí que no tiene paraguas. Le voy con la mano, esa es la actitud, Sin paraguas no pasa nada. @linda en vivo, van a estar viendo este video, como todo lo que vamos subiendo aquí en el Buenos Aires Fan Fest. Qué linda bandera, por Dios. Bueno, obviamente la nuestra, pero mirá los chicos que trajeron hoy la bandera de Argentina. Creo que la Argentina, ¿no? Los que vinieron a las 10 de la mañana bien temprano. La carita de Messi, que también vino a todos los partidos. Por favor, ya vamos conociendo a muchos de los aficionados que están presentes en todos los encuentros de la selección argentina. Vienen a ver los partidos porque acá se pasaron no solo los de Celeste Blanca, sino también muchos partidos del Mundial de Buenos Aires Fan Fest. Obviamente, llegando ya a su fin en la final
It's World Cup final day here in New York. I'm Philip Crowther with the Associated Press, and I'll be with you throughout these next exactly 90 minutes as we count down to kickoff at the World Cup final at the New York, New Jersey Stadium between Spain and Argentina. This is how the tournament comes to an end, the 104th game altogether, a tournament that has been played out for almost 6 weeks now in 3 host countries here in the United States, in Canada, and in Mexico as well, of course. This final, it brings together the number 1 ranked team in the FIFA World Rankings, that is Argentina, the 2nd ranked team, that is Spain, of course. Spain, the current holders of the European Championships, and Argentina, the current defending champions, not just of the World Cup, but also of the South American title. You couldn't really have imagined a better final. As you can see right now, you'll be able to follow fans' reactions during this build-up to the World Cup final, but also during that World Cup final between Spain and Argentina. At the top there, you can see Columbus Square, or La Plaza de Colón in Madrid, the capital of Spain. That is where Spain supporters have been gathering throughout this tournament during their very successful, of course, run to the final. Just below, that is Palermo in Buenos Aires in the Argentinian capital. You can see a very clear difference there. It is winter right now in Argentina. It is summer here in New York and in Europe as well, of course. But that is where Argentina fans have been assembling over the last over 5 weeks to celebrate the successes of the Argentinian national team, of course, led by Lionel Messi as well. FIFA says that all of their matches at this World Cup in Canada, in Mexico, and here in the United States have been sold out, and it expects at the end of this 104th game of this FIFA World Cup for there to have been 6.7 million spectators. That is a record for a World Cup as well. Of course, the fans are the most important thing when it comes to a World Cup. Millions of us, billions in fact, have been watching this World Cup from home, but the lucky few who have been in the stadiums, well, they have left our AP reporters on the ground with a lot of fascinating impressions. And let's start with the fans and with some of those impressions that our reporters have been able to gather.
To be here is winning the lottery.
No words to describe how I feel. It's the best. Amazing.
It's one of these moments, you know, I'm never going to forget this. It's absolutely awesome.
Come on, England!
And we couldn't absolutely miss a World Cup that's in our country, but also honoring our roots. So, yeah.
The fans there from almost all the participating nations, of course, all of them now eliminated, bar 2, bar Spain and Argentina. And a memory there as well for us of some of the highlights of this tournament. You saw the fans of Mexico, for example, who were riding a wave of enthusiasm until they were thrown out in the round of 18 by England, for example, but also the fans from Norway, for example, with their famous row gesture that was repeated not just in stadiums throughout this World Cup, but also, of course, back home in Norway. Here's what to expect from us during the next 90 minutes or so before kickoff at the New York, New Jersey Stadium, just a short distance away from where we are here at AP headquarters in New York. We're going to be speaking to our sports reporters, for example, who have been following this World Cup from day one. We'll be speaking to our correspondents in those respective capitals that you see on your screens right now. Our correspondents based in Buenos Aires and in Madrid. They'll be telling us about the atmospheres there as their respective countries build up to this very expected World Cup final. Spain going for their 2nd World Cup victory after 2010 in South Africa. Argentina going for their 4th star on their jersey, and also attempting to become only the 3rd team to win 2 World Cups in a row. We'll also be looking at the lineups, of course, that have just been made official for both Argentina and Spain. This at a moment when fans are very much streaming into the stadium. The stadium, of course, that is usually in New Jersey, named the MetLife Stadium, but has been rechristened the New York, New Jersey Stadium by FIFA for this tournament. And one thing we wanted to bring to you as early as possible is speak to one of the content creators that have been so important and so visible during this World Cup over the last almost 6 weeks. They have been inside the stadiums filming the action, filming their reactions as well for their respective audiences on social media. And we've teamed up with one of them, and he is Josh Moore. He is a former Division I athlete in American football in US college here. And he's turned himself into a content creator, largely on YouTube, but also on Instagram and TikTok, for example. I spoke just a short while ago with him about his experience of seeing this World Cup in his home country and experiencing a World Cup for the first time. Josh, I'm jealous. You have a ticket to the game, to the nosebleed seats, admittedly, but still, you are going to see Argentina versus Spain in the New York, New Jersey final a little bit later on. Right behind you, we can see the fans streaming in. I think it looks like it's going to be similar to other games, including the semi-final in Atlanta that both of us went to, where Argentinian fans were, about 80% of the crowd. In this case, Spaniards maybe 20% or so. Just let us know, after all of this World Cup that you have experienced together with everybody else, how excited are you for this World Cup final today?
I am pumped. I've never been to a World Cup final, never been to any other major sporting events of this caliber. I know something like this happening on American soil is kind of like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So I'm truly blessed to be here, and you're right about that. There's so many Argentinian fans that I have seen. Like, even on the buses and the trains, they were singing their chants, they were singing their fight songs, which was really cool. I don't know a lick of Spanish, so I wasn't able to partake, but yeah, they're very passionate, and it's great to see them here.
You're going to have the time of your life at this World Cup final, but you've seen other games as well, and you've traveled a little bit across the country to different stadiums to see games during this World Cup, especially now during the knockout rounds. What has stuck out to you as, and of course we're particularly interested in someone who is a US citizen seeing a World Cup on their soil for the first time? What has stuck out for you?
I think what stuck out to me the most is how passionate all of these other countries are about their teams. It's kind of been a running joke about how in America people don't really care about soccer, like they more care about basketball or football or maybe even hockey. So I think that passion is kind of bleeding into Americans here, and even people that maybe from other countries that have moved here. Now everyone's like, okay, wow, soccer is a viable thing. We do like this. There is a big passionate fan base here, especially for the U.S. national team. They only made it to the round of 16, but that's further than most of us, like including me, have ever seen. Like, I was probably like a little kid or a baby the last time the U.S. was like a solid team on the world stage. So it's meant a lot to see all these fans really come here and share their different cultures with us, and seeing how they just impacted the country as a whole. I mean, it's just been awesome.
Josh, you were a Division I athlete in college, an American football player, and you know, a question that we as Europeans always ask when soccer or football tries to somehow make a space for itself in the United States is this going to be the moment where soccer becomes one of the main sports that people follow in the United States as well? This, of course, being a tournament that was held in Canada and Mexico as well. Does it feel like that to you, like this has been a bit of a breakthrough moment for the sport in the United States?
I feel like it really has, because every city's been able to see up close and personal, whether it's LA, New York, Atlanta, Miami, Houston, Dallas. All of these different cities have seen soccer at the highest level firsthand. So I think that this will make a lot of guys that maybe play basketball that aren't quite tall enough, or play football and decide, you know what, let me play soccer too, because why not diversify myself and see if I can make it in the highest level there, just like I made it in the highest level in my other sports. So I think it's a really great opportunity for different athletes here to really get exposure and decide, like, hey, that sport looks really cool, I want to partake in that.
Josh will be watching, of course, the videos that you'll be producing on the likes of Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube during this World Cup final. We're looking forward to seeing those. And of course, I wish you all the best for the final. You're going to be seeing Lionel Messi play in a World Cup final. Enjoy it. That's Josh Moore, former D1 athlete and content creator now, joining us from outside of the New York, New Jersey stadium. Thanks a lot, Josh. Now, as the goals go in during the World Cup final between Spain and Argentina, you are going to be able to see fans' reactions live in those pictures you can see right now. Plaza de Colón in Madrid, and below that, Palermo in Buenos Aires. And we'll also be sticking with those pictures in whichever capital of the winning country, of course, as well, be it Spain or Argentina. But as we build up now to the World Cup final, we will make sure that you can enjoy these pictures and we'll let them breathe a little bit. So I'll be speaking to you again in a few minutes' time. In the meantime, adding to that footage that you can see from Madrid and from Argentina as fans prepare for the World Cup final, you'll also be able to see the fans trickle in to the New York, New Jersey stadium, where kickoff is exactly 1 hour and 18 minutes away now. You can see 1 hour and 14 minutes now to go before kickoff at the New York, New Jersey Stadium, just a short distance away from where we are right here in Manhattan. You can see, or you could see earlier, quite a lot of Argentina fans still trickling into the stadium. If I was one of them, I'd be making my way in right now for the closing ceremony and just to feel the atmosphere as much as possible. It's only so many times in your life that you're going to be able to watch a World Cup final after all. We do expect that stadium to be largely dominated by Argentinian supporters, as has been the case for almost every game that they have played during this World Cup so far. Maybe as much as 80% part of that stadium will be filled by, be it Argentinians or fans of the Argentinian national team, or just those wearing Lionel Messi jerseys. Maybe 20% of the stadium will be taken up by fans of Spain. Now, this, of course, being the last, the 104th game of this FIFA World Cup, also gives us the opportunity to look back at this stadium on what might have been the big news events of this World Cup, what might have been different compared to what had been expected by a lot of experts. One thing is for sure, there have been no major security incidents, be it in the United States, Canada, or Mexico. Geopolitical tension was always going to be present, and controversies as well, be it on or off the pitch. For example, the fact that Iran was playing World Cup games in a country that it is currently at war with that country, Iran, not being allowed to base itself in the United States and having to travel for every game back and forth from their training camp in Tijuana in Mexico, right on the border with the United States. That is certainly something that made for a lot of headlines during the start of the World Cup, Iran being very unlucky to go out after their 3 group games. You'll also, of course, remember the huge controversy when the red card for the United States striker Balogun was rescinded by FIFA, this after a phone call from US President Donald Trump to FIFA's president Gianni Infantino. The United States, of course, with Balogun in the team, eventually losing their knockout game to Belgium. Let us take a look now also at what our AP reporters, our video journalists, saw during these last almost 6 weeks of this World Cup. And you'll see in this footage some of the big headline material that we've been talking about here at the AP, but also people around the world have been talking about during this World Cup.
Mexico fans were ecstatic as the team kicked off the 2026 World Cup with a 2-0 win over South Africa.
Demonstrators took to the streets of Seattle Friday amid the World Cup match between Egypt and Iran.
Messi's pretty beastly in the field.
And you saw there at the very end, those were the fans, but also earlier the players of the Cabo Verde national team. One of the surprise stories of this World Cup, you might remember that they only went out during the knockout rounds to eventual finalists Argentina after extra time. One of those feel-good stories of the World Cup that we're always, of course, looking for, those surprise elements. This, of course, being a World Cup that was extended to a larger amount of teams so that a country like Curaçao, for example, could qualify for it, bringing plenty of new countries to this World Cup and their debuts on the biggest possible stage. Now, over the last few days, of course, we've been looking back as well at what this World Cup felt like to us, what some of the highlights might have been to us. And I've been speaking to some of our AP reporters who've been following this tournament on the ground. And let's start with our reporter who is based in Miami. Joining me now from outside the New York, New Jersey Jersey Stadium, where the World Cup final will be taking place, is Tim Reynolds, AP sports writer, who is based in Miami and usually writes a lot about the NBA, basketball here in the United States, but also covers Lionel Messi and Inter Miami over in his home base in Miami. He now joins us from New York. Now, Tim, let's take a look at both matters on the field and off the field for this final. First of all, on the field, what do you expect from this final?
Well, I think it's two great clashes in styles, Philip. You have Argentina, obviously led by Lionel Messi, an extremely high-powered offensive team, a team with a flair for late-game dramatics. They score goals in bunches, 2 or 3 goals in every game so far. And then you have Spain, which is on the cusp of World Cup history. They've allowed 1 goal in 7 matches. No World Cup champion ever has allowed fewer than 2 goals in a tournament. Spain has been almost impossible to score on because they keep the ball so much, Philip. This game is going to come down to possession. Argentina likes to break teams down by playing the ball from one side of the field to the other and let Lionel Messi create. Spain doesn't allow that to happen because they just hang on to the ball so much with a series of short passes. The team that dictates pace in this game is going to be the World Cup champion. Spain has shown that they have a method, a philosophy, a style that's going to give Argentina trouble. But if Argentina solves it, Lionel Messi and his team could go back-to-back.
From what we can see there over in New Jersey, it looks like in terms of the weather forecast, things are looking pretty good. We had all that wildfire smoke, of course, over the last few days here in New York. That seems to have dissipated somewhat. Temperature not too high. Pretty ideal situation, really, for a high-stakes soccer game. Let's talk a little bit about this final then. For people inside the stadium, but also for the viewers at home, what might look and feel and maybe even sound different this time around to, let's say, the final in Qatar, for example, 3.5 years ago?
Well, for starters, Phil, this match is going to take a little bit longer. Everyone knows about the hydration breaks. They've been in play for the entire tournament. Although, like you said, the weather here today is ideal. It is breezy, it's sunny, it's warm but not hot. After so many heat concerns throughout the first 103 matches, or many of them in this tournament, none of that will be in place today. So the hydration break is going to be a nice bonus, but not really necessary, though they're going to go through and do it. That's going to be the first thing you see. The second thing, of course, is the halftime show. Unprecedented for FIFA that they're doing a halftime show. And halftime will take longer than the 15 minutes. There's just no way around it. They're saying the show itself will take 11. That doesn't include for setup, for tear down. People have to get on the field, off the field. Then you have to get the players back onto the pitch. Halftime's going to be a little bit longer. You know, the players have a certain body clock. They're used to a 15, 16-minute break from the end of the first half to the start of the second. How will that affect them, if at all? And then thirdly, what happens after the match? This is also going to be unusual. President Donald Trump is expected to be at this match today. He is part of the trophy awarding ceremony. He could actually be the person handing the trophy to the winning captain. Whether it's Rodri, whether it's Messi, we don't know yet, obviously. But Trump could be a major part of the post-game show. That would be unprecedented in World Cup history as well. So it is a soccer match, it is a star-studded match, but it will be unlike any of the other 22 finals that the world has seen in this tournament.
That's Tim Reynolds there, the AP sports writer, right outside the New York, New Jersey Stadium. Thank you very much for joining us. And the last thing for me to tell you is enjoy the game. You're a very lucky man to be there. Thank you so much.
I'm incredibly lucky. Thank you, Philip.
And a quick note on the weather for you there. You saw behind Tim Reynolds pretty clear skies. It is a perfect day for a football game, for an outdoor football game here in New York. That smoke from the wildfires that came from Canada and Minnesota over the last few days here in New York that blanketed the city, largely gone, at least for now. Temperatures not too high. Again, the players will undoubtedly appreciate this. We will also be feeling the temperature in other capitals to see how supporters are preparing for this World Cup final, how they feel about their team's chances. At the top of the hour, we'll be speaking to the likes of our correspondent Isabel Debray in Buenos Aires, but also our correspondent in Madrid. And we'll be doing that live in just a few minutes' time. You're watching live coverage from Madrid and Argentina. You can see the boxes right next to me. These are the Spain and Argentina fans, respectively. Now under an hour away from the start of the World Cup final between Spain and Argentina here in New York. The World Cup final between the team ranked first in the world, that's Argentina, and the team ranked second in the world, that's Spain. Spain, the European champions. Argentina, of course, the defending world champions and South American champions as well. We now have the opportunity to speak to our correspondents in those two respective capitals, in Madrid and in Buenos Aires. But let's start in Buenos Aires, in the capital of Argentina, which of course has been a hotbed for Argentina supporters during this World Cup, and that's where we can join our correspondent Isabel Debray shortly. She has been following, of course, this World Cup since the very start. It's now been almost 6 weeks of this tournament, with Argentina going into this World Cup not necessarily as one of the top favorites to win the World Cup. It was basically all down to whether Lionel Messi was going to be the match winner that we all think he can be at the ripe old age of 39. Well, with 8 goals that he has now scored in this World Cup, he is very much still the star that many of us were hoping he would be during this World Cup, and that has very much turned out to be the case. Argentina going through, though, not without suffering to the final. You'll remember the first knockout round and a very tight 3-2 win in extra time over a lot of people's surprise team in Cape Verde, but then also victories over the likes of Egypt, Switzerland, and then, of course, in the semi-final over England. I mentioned Isabel Debray. She's our correspondent in Buenos Aires, and she can join us now live. And I believe that is from near the obelisk where she'll be joining us from. That is where Argentina fans have been celebrating, of course, their victories during this World Cup, but also where they were celebrating their victory, of course, 3.5 years ago when Argentina won the World Cup in Qatar. Now, Isabel, the first thing I should mention, obviously the weather very different where you are to where we are here in New York. It is winter right now in Argentina, and I think it's pouring, isn't it, where you are? Not the best conditions for a party, but still, let us know. What's the atmosphere like where you are?
Yeah, I mean, it's always difficult to overstate the love that Argentines have for their national team. I mean, it's a pretty good display of that. I mean, despite the rain, right now it's stopped, but it's been drizzling nonstop since the morning, and it's pretty cold, chilly air. It's winter here in Buenos Aires, as you mentioned. That has not stopped hundreds and hundreds of fans. I mean, this is just still an hour before kickoff, and they've been here since the morning. Fans, drums screaming for Argentina. Some are dancing and bouncing up and down. I mean, the amount of energy, and there's not even a screen there. They're just getting excited, getting themselves revved up before heading over to a fan fest nearby to watch the game all across the city. And there have been people setting up different kinds of screens in plazas and parks, no matter the weather. Everybody getting ready.